Welcome back to Not Alone with Melissa Sue Methvin. Today, I'm so excited. Dr. Sachin Karande, who is a biological dentistry, redefining the future of dentistry. We met in Cannes in France for the Shield documentary premiere that I was at. And interesting enough, the first day I was podcasting, second day was the premiere, and I hadn't met Dr. Karande yet until we went on this boat day, this yacht day. And I love how the universe, how God works, because I meet you and Dr. Gandhi, because we were lost trying to get on the boat. And there's no doubt I was supposed to meet you. And it was such a lovely day and such an honor to have your expertise on today, because I am so passionate, and I know I've been called to help shift the industry. And if I could use my platform, my podcast, and my goal is to have all the top biological dentists, because I also know they're not all created equal. And I'm fortunate enough that I'm finding the best of the best. So if you could share a little bit about yourself, and I know you're from Stafford, Virginia. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Mhm.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for the introduction. And yes, it was an absolute pleasure meeting your family there. That day was something. It was a last minute decision to jump on the yacht, and it was a close knit group of 25
I
people.
know.
So
I couldn't believe it. It was a last minute decision for me too, because, I have my mom, my kids, and it was an expense. But I was like, wow, I'm in Cannes. I've never been to south of France. To get to go on a yacht and then go onto this private island for lunch, I was like, okay, I'm all in. I actually had little signs saying I need to go on this boat. And this boat, I think more than half were dentists.
yes, absolutely, because they were all there to support the documentary.
Uh,
And we all are a part of the next one that's coming out, which is Bio Dentistry,
that's right. That's
where the
right.
top where the top biological dentists are there. So, I mean, it was definitely a nice, I mean, it was a gorgeous day, no doubt about it. Everything was so exquisite that I still have great memories. On top of that, meeting people like you and your family, wow, that was something. And your presence is really strong. It cannot be ignored. And then when I heard about the things you do, I'm like, wow, that is quite something.
Thank you.
Knowing
I'm
that
so honored to, I'm just so passionate to now use my voice. And it's interesting, as a little girl, I was the shyest little person, and my family can't believe what I'm doing right now. But it's stronger than me. It's stronger than me. And now I have a whole family of biological dentists to help spread my message and awareness when it comes to the health of the dentists. And and that's so important to me.
Right, and that calling is so strong. I can feel it. When we sat down and spoke for maybe 5 minutes because we had a limited time then, but I'm glad we got that time and a small window in that zone of the universe where we could connect, and that was beautiful. I still have good memories about it, and whatever I learned from there, I realized in a way we were reflecting each other's energies, and I realized that you have a calling that you are doing so well. And if you tell me that you're a shy person, it's hard to believe now.
It's the truth. I could give you speed dial to all my family in Quebec City.
And that resonates with me too, because I'm myself a quite reserved. I'm not big into going to events or doing things, but I think when the calling is right, everything just aligns, and you feel the need to go connect to people, spread the message, and tell them what's in your head and what's in your mind. So discussing those things there was amazing. So thank you so much for the invite. I really appreciate uh, this opportunity that we could sit down and talk and connect one more time, maybe in a little more depth about who we are, what we do.
Yes, I'd
And
love to learn how you shifted to biological dentist and to use your voice. Now you are on the documentary. You've already filmed your portion?
yes, I have already. It was 3 months ago when I got the offer to come and be a part of the documentary. I decided that I'm definitely going to do that. And I went to San Antonio where they had that day set up. uh, and there was a conference, IOMT conference going on there. So the great crew, they're a nice company. They're doing the right work, and being with my peers who are doing the same calling, which I feel was definitely a big blessing there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait. And yeah, tell me how you switched from to biological dentistry. What was that drew you to that?
Sure. So this is I've been a dentist for 20 years, but almost a decade ago, I would say I myself started getting into that area where I felt like I'm not being the best version of myself. And the more I started dwelling on those things, I realized, what is it? What is it me? Is it the things I'm doing? And I was always on the forefront of understanding things better, trying to understand sleep, trying to understand health. I have two daughters right now who are 12 and 14. And when I made the shift from India, I was born and raised in Mumbai. I came here when I was 25 years old. When I made the shift here, for a certain period of time, I did not practice dentistry. I did spend some time away. I did my MBA in healthcare management and did spend some time with the corporate world in the healthcare with Blue Cross Blue Shield and some other companies, just getting an idea about things before I could get my feet wet back in dentistry. During that time, I got married in Jersey. I had a daughter. We had a daughter a few years, and then I was kind of a stay-at-home dad, trying to get back into dental school, assisting as oral surgeon for a very brief period of time. But when that happened, my love for nutrition was at the peak because the baby, the first child, you want to feed them the best. You want to give them the best in the world, even what you never received. So I did small part of that, being a stay-at-home dad, doing part-time with for this and applying for schools, assisting. And then when I got into school in Columbia, New York, I finished my residency, started practicing. We moved to Virginia because this is kind of a hub. My wife works in the top companies that provide the support to the government for all the projects they have, which require a security clearance. So this was the hub. The tri-state was the hub for us. And so with that, started working, and I always felt that there was something that gap that happened in my life. Always thought that was for a reason. But when I started working in the corporate world, I always felt the disconnect that this is very mechanical. I'm just seeing people through insurance. It's just time based. The chair time is important. There's so many concerns about how much you could do better. And as a clinician, we all know we could do better if we are given a little more time.
Oh,
So it
absolutely.
was always at the back. You're a hygienist, you know how it works. And we try to do that. Oh, it's an hour and a half new patient appointment. You got to roll up things, get the doc on time, and the doc never comes on time. It's always you keep waiting for them.
Come on,
So,
come on. You're going to make me late.
so and on top of that, if he's somebody like me who loves to talk, that's another story. You just have to literally drag them out of the room. So those things were happening on one side, but I did the corporate for some time, felt very unsatisfied with the whole system. And I said, if I'm going to be in a part of this dental career, which I was like kind of second coming, as I said, I had a small gap, work as a corporate, as a project manager, business leader for some time. So when that calling came, I said, this setup is not working for me. There's something I need to do right. I always had it in me that I need to lead, I need to have my own team. So I was looking opportunity to start my own setup. But in the meanwhile, I got an opportunity to work in a state psychiatric hospital,
Oh,
which
wow.
was com- which was completely dedicated for mental illness on the whole spectrum. Western State Hospital, which is in the Shenandoah Valley. It is almost a 200-year-old institute. And I was blessed to be the dental director for 3.5 years there. And during that time, I saw the close association of mental illness and what it does to the oral cavity.
Oh, wow.
That that observation and that learning that happened, I wish I could have spent time more, but I had to drive quite a bit, and the kids. My second daughter was already born, and I needed to make sure I'm at home too.
What did you see?
Supriya,
Like,
my wife.
what? I'm curious because I always say the mouth is the mirror. I see an entire life story. I can see stress.
Right.
If they've swallowed, suppress their emotion, because I say, suppression is a silent killer. I can see that in the mouth. So I'm interested to what you saw in that hospital where people are
What I
dealing with
saw,
suicide
what
ideation,
I
they're
saw
dealing
is
mental
Mhm.
health.
So on the people who were on that spectrum of extreme illnesses, I saw people with schizophrenia, bipolar disorders, the dissociative disorders. If I could get a snapshot of those findings, and then people on the lower spectrum like depression, anxiety, one thing was common that they all had periodontal disease. Periodontal disease was rampant, it was unmanaged, and it was just driving their body and minds crazy in a way. That was
Mm.
my shortest observation. And even they were on like perio maintenance protocol, it was not doing much. They needed more. They needed much more than just those gum cleaning, because that was my understanding back then. I had not dwelled into the area of cavitations, understanding infections under the bone, the effect of mercury, but they all had metals in their mouth. They all had infections in their bones, and they had infections in the gums. That was the most common theme.
Because now we're finding out that those bacteria are in the brain of patients that have dementia and Alzheimer's, and right, there's still that
Right.
combination that they're seeing. They're noticing that.
Absolutely. It's a continuum. I mean, the bacteria we have in the mouth are part of the gut, and also they're part of the brain. So there is a continuation that is going on. And it's not just the bacteria, all kind of microorganisms. We are more microorganisms than even the number of cells in the body. So if you look at that, there is such a close relationship about the activities of those bacteria. If those organisms have the ability to proliferate in a manner which is uncontrolled, their toxins, they're waste products, which act as harsh chemicals or harsh signaling molecules. They go and disrupt the whole ecosystem in all the different organs in the body. And the mind is definitely not spared.
Yes.
I could see that so clearly. So when that journey happened and I saw that, it sat in my mind. If because in my alternate life, if I was not a dentist, I would have been a psychiatrist. I love the field of I love the mental space. Being always an avid meditation practitioner, grew in the East, where religion, meditation, philosophy is so high. And there's so many people I was able to read, understand, and incorporate in my day-to-day life. So medicine or dentistry was a calling to go and serve the people, help the people. The journey brings me to the West, and then I go back in a mental institute and learn that there is some association going on with the oral cavity, which is very profound. You cannot ignore it. And these people were getting better if they were put on stronger regimes of just managing one condition, which is their periodontal health.
Wow.
So if you could change that one thing and cause such a ripple effect, the possibilities were just immense. But at the same time, I started suffering with a certain condition in my right knee where I was getting this inflammation, and they call it the Baker cyst. Started getting treatment at UVA, best doctors, great. And the life was not that hectic. I thought that life was not that hectic for me. I'm going
Because
nice in
we
the mountains.
normalize the busyness. We normalize.
Absolutely. Once we get what we want, we completely forget what we sacrificed to achieve that.
Yes.
So I reach there. I'm doing the things. I'm staying a couple of days there because it's far, 2.5 hours one way drive. So I was staying a couple of nights and then come back 4 days a week. In the meantime, I'm thinking what I'm going to do. Am I going to be here for the longer time? I'm going to venture out. So that phase, I'm seeing this association. At the same time, my health starts going south, completely south. I don't understand. The inflammation in the body is unbelievable. I'm just in my 30s then. I don't understand. I don't have any chronic diseases in my body, but inflammation affecting the joints. As time goes on, they start putting me on steroid shots and saying this might provide relief. I do it once or twice, feels better. You do it, and then it comes back again. So the next step was biologics. That's what they call it, where they really go and target and shoot your immune cells, saying that, hey, We're going to suppress it. You don't need to take control of it. We got this. But it's like going and harming your friends and families who are going to supposed to protect you.
Yeah.
In my mind, I said, no, this is not right. This is not what I was designed to do for that, accept the whatever is being told to me. Their analysis and diagnosis was, you don't have any markers in the blood, but you're symptomatically positive. I'm like, symptoms, yes, I understand, but just on symptoms, you categorize me and start dumping things in my body to shut down the whole mechanism. It didn't fit well with me. I said, no, I need better answers.
Mhm.
As time goes on, I'm trying to find answers. One night, I'm home taking care of my younger daughter, Sabia. She is under my care. My wife has taken my older daughter to see her folks in Jersey. We call her Sau. Sau tells me, Daddy, you snore. That hurt me. I was like, wow, I knew I snore, but that snoring bothers my most beloved person. Kind of made an impact on me. But luckily, I was training to understand airway and sleep during that time. And I had an appliance made, but I was just messing with it, not using it regularly at time. I wear the appliance, and the next day morning, I'm just waiting for her response. She doesn't say anything. I make breakfast, we have it together, and then I coax her. Um, I said, "Love, did you feel anything different?" She's like, "No, I slept well, Dad. How was your sleep?" And I was like, "Okay, so she slept well, means I didn't disturb her. I didn't snore. On top of that, I realized that I felt 10 times better than what I used to on a regular day. So that appliance worked. That simple thing just clicked. And from there, I said, I need to go down this rabbit hole and find out. I started fixing my airway. The more I took care of my sleep, found that I have sleep apnea undiagnosed. Nobody told me. Every patient who has cancer, who is autoimmune, in my practice now, when I see them, I know they have sleep apnea. I know they have bruxism. I know that they have TMD. I know they have airway problem. Nobody talks about it.
No,
I
nobody.
lost my tonsils in my early 20s when I was in my uh, dental school back home in India, Mumbai. And that time, I went from one ENT specialist to second and third. Everybody just giving me one more next generation of antibiotics, next generation.
Yeah,
So I
that's
think
what
I
they do
peaked
now,
out.
right? For the inflamed tonsils.
Yeah.
And for me, it's so hard. I see that for kids, and then the parents are like, oh, well, it's I was like, no, check the airway, you know?
Right now, luckily, the word is spreading so well. An hour ago, my last patient was a 5-year-old kid, tonsils inflamed. And now, since the awareness is there, the father is there coming to seek answers instead of going and just extracting and pulling that tonsil
Yeah,
gland
because
out.
tonsils are immune
So,
system, part of the immune system. They're kind of like the
yeah,
alarms that something's off. So we don't want to take that away. We don't have to.
the tonsils are the main defense in the sense they have the ability to control everything that is coming in the mouth. It brushes through the tonsils and goes in our stomach. So the whatever the food we eat, the liquid we eat. So it's guarding the airway too. So it's protecting even something comes through the air, the aerosol that enters, it's gonna make sure that it's right. So you take this, it's like living in a house with an open door.
Mhm.
How safe are we going to feel about it?
Right.
There's nobody there to guard it. There's nobody, if the door is open. So that's what happened to me 20 years ago, that heavy antibiotic use. And on top of that, I went to a dental school where mercury was triturated as if you're playing with magic. It's the magic metal. It's so soft. And the toxicities were so high in my body, and it took some time to peak out. Depending on our own immune ability and our genetics, we can definitely suppress. Plus, our mental energies and our resilience to not explode and fall sick because you're taking care of a family. You are supposed to provide, and make sure you come last in a way. So that's the general assumption we have. But when my body started getting ability to relax, career is a little bit settled, everything started coming up. My whole body started revolting against me. The symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis, sleep apnea, TMD grind, the whole body is inflamed. I could feel every single thing that's going on. And pain medication was not an option. I'm not a fan of pain medication at all because during that in the 20s when I did the antibiotic courses, the pain medication with caffeine was so high that I almost have an intolerance for caffeine anymore now.
Oh,
My
wow.
body was, all the pills have caffeine. I mean, if you take Excedrin, it's dosed with caffeine. You have caffeine shots. Every single drink, what they know that it stimulates the brain, but it just makes your body not able to. It is like you borrow the energy so that you can have a huge crash later on.
Yes. Oh,
So
yeah.
my
It's
body,
just borrowed energy and you kind of overpower your body nonstop, which for you, that's kind of what happened. You overpowered, and you normalized and the how busy, and all of a sudden you could rest a little bit. Well, that's where your body could rest and repair. And then I could feel everything.
right, right. So understanding that with this, so when rheumatoid happened and the sleep compromise, I said there has to be a close relationship to the whole thing. And when I opened those knots and found out, I helped myself getting better with sleep, started working on appliance and then Airway. That's the system I follow now. So fix my airway, everything started calming down. I've lost almost 30 to 40 pounds of weight.
Wow.
I definitely work on my gut. I also have a nutrition certificate from Duke where I understood nutrition a little better. I said, so now my patients come to me, I understand their sleep, I understand their nutrition, I understand the value of the airway, and definitely understanding what is lurking in their mouth, metals, toxicities, and all the other things. But on my personal journey, when I was able to fix myself, just letting air come in my body and have that rest, because out of 24 hours, God has made us capable of taking rest one third of the time, 8 hours. You can go plus minus that. So one third of the life we are supposed to sleep. Why? Because we are such a complex mechanism, the whole body, that we need rest. The mind needs rest. All the different organs, the circadian rhythm is set in certain fashion that they get their help, they detox, but nothing is complete without air and water. So having good hydration and good air is extremely important instead of just trying to pump yourself with many other toxins. So when I fixed my sleep, nutrition, my life started changing. Luckily, I didn't have mercury in my mouth, but there was so much inhalation that had happened that my body was rejecting that too. So I had to go through the detox, make sure it was leached out. So the protocols I followed helped me get better. And once I got on that plane, I said, I'm not going back. There is no way I'm going to go back. And I made it a mission that every single person I treat, I'm going to treat them in a whole comprehensive manner. So understanding their gut, their oral connection, understanding their inflammation connection to all the diseases they have, I have been able to help so many people because now I understand. I understand myself better. I understand myself as a body better. And if I can do that, that's what I feel like. It's a responsibility of every individual to understand themselves better, whatever professions you are into, because you all have your loved ones. You have not for the smallest thing. You're gonna go and call a doctor and say that, hey, help me out. You're gonna use your common sense and logic. So making this lifestyle shift is extremely important for every individual. And that's the calling that I have for all the patients who are in the chair. I said, I can help you a lot, but I cannot help you unless you're ready to help yourself and be a different version of you from the day you sit in my chair till the last day of your
I
life.
love that. You are
And that's
such a fantastic, what a gift you are to your patient. And I love how, because yeah, it's like go within. I did the same, go within, heal me. And I was even told that, before my kids, because my kids will co-regulate, they'll watch me. So I've got to be the
right.
best version of me to keep showing up.
Absolutely.
So if every dentist, who treat, thousands of patients a year worked on themselves first, really got to
And
the
that's
root.
And I agree with you completely that you noticed that what I was saying. And that is when I started Karande Biological Dentistry, I left everything behind and started making sure that I do what I need to do. But my motto has always been Karande Biological Dentistry, where healing begins. So my whole energy is focused on one thing. If there is suffering, then there is healing possible. So when you come and sit in my chair, you are ready for that journey. I don't, most of the time when people come and sit in the chair, I know they have been called for. It's not by coincidence. They have been looking for answers and they know there's a better way to deal with it. There's a better help available and you need the right people. So now we are also slowly venturing. Last weekend, we had a small event where we launched Biohack Your Dentistry, where I had some speakers some of them we met in Cannes.
Yes, yes, yes. I noticed that. That's fantastic. I love the title too.
Yeah, and so the sleep axis is what really fascinates me more, along with the toxicity in the mouth, because the biological dentists are doing a great job and they all are doing amazing in terms of getting this toxicity out, but they are also incorporating airway and sleep. And that understanding has deepened in many of them, and they're doing the best they can. And I was blessed to be able to be enlightened in a way that I could take that and make sure that that becomes a permanent solution for all the problem, because healing happens only and only when you stop, and stopping happens when you let the body rest. And resting, stopping happens in the night.
So then
So you
you educate patients that to prioritize stopping, being mindfulness. You talk about meditation and how that was very much part of your culture, and you're a very spiritual man. I know just the way you write. I was like, it's so beautiful. You need to write a book. and and
That's very kind of you.
so are you educating your patients about meditation and maybe incorporating that as well?
Absolutely. So, where sleep education, what we do is a lot of times when I see the symptoms, we get them diagnosed, we get the sleep studies done from the medical doctor, and that's it, the journey begins. But helping them with sleep is just a subset of the bigger problem, which is their airways. So, craniofacial development, if need be, expand the palate, expand their faces, and let them grow. This is a very slow process, it takes time. But if you address it correctly, you're changing the whole human being, because now the airway is able to give them what they need to. Their face changes, the body inflammation goes down, everything calms down. So I educate them about this aspect of things, and whatever is needed from getting them help. If they need CPAP, then they need CPAP. You will use that temporarily while I prepare them for other modalities, where I'm doing the whole musculoskeletal analysis and making sure that the soft tissue, the hard tissue, can accommodate those changes. And it works wonderfully well when the patient is alive. So that is taking care of the nighttime part of the sleep. But before that itself, what I've seen is that people who are grinding their teeth are purely doing it because they are struggling to breathe, and they are a victim of a war that happens between the body, who needs rest in the night, is forced into a battle to breathe. It's like somebody's going and choking you in sleep apnea. And when that is happening and your airway is blocked because everything is constricted, the tongue is falling in the wrong place, automatically the body's going to send signals, and you go from a parasympathetic resting mode to a fight mode. And when you're about to fight, the first thing we do is we freeze. We gather all our energies. We anchor. And as soon as you put that anchorage on the teeth and you're about to open the jaw, the biggest clash happens between those upper and lower jaws, and you can see all the battle wounds. Every single fracture line I see in a patient's mouth, I can narrate a whole story. As soon as they sit in my chair, I have the records I need. I'll look at them and I can just touch their bodies and say, this hurts from the neck to the back to the knee. And a lot of times they have done surgeries. They have replacements done, knee replacement, hip replacement, and they don't even know that the answer is in the mouth.
I know. I always say now, go check the mouth first. You're
Mouth.
starting to have inflammation. You're starting to have, go check them, which is oftentimes it's the last place they check. So we need to change that. And that's my goal, right?
Right. Yeah, no, that is beautiful. And that has to be the mission, that you have to go get your mouth checked, because it is one organ which is not just one. It has multiple organs. Every tooth has its own blood supply. It has its own nourishment channel. It has the ability to heal by itself. So if we're ignoring all that and just treating with the intention that we're going to make it functional and aesthetic, but not understand the whole ecosystem as how the bacteria are being allowed to penetrate and they can be stopped, or the gums can be healed and you can reverse certain things, I think we will change the whole game at the way the mouth is looked at.
Oh, absolutely. I love the way you're doing dentistry, and I just honored to have met you. And you definitely,
Thank
people
you.
would fly and come and see you because it's really hard to find. And so my goal also is to encourage other dentists to make that shift. But I know from my own husband, he was very similar. You work so hard. The beginning, we had built our dental office. You work 6 days a week, and because you
Oh,
the heaviness of opening up your own practice and you got to provide for the family and give back. And he loved the trade, but he just
Yeah.
forgot to take care of himself and got lost in the system. You talked about pain meds, which I think is very much introduced to many dentists earlier on
Right.
because you get a lot of back pain and that inflammation you talk about. He had a lot of that. And so how can we help dentists notice these little signs and what's the root cause? Because so many of them are silently suffering. I still get calls on a regular basis where they feel
Mhm.
stuck and they don't know where to go and they don't know um, yeah, because they won't want to leave the industry because that provides for their family and they're feeling really stuck. And how would you encourage dentists to be open minded to make that shift for themselves?
That's a great question. And that's what I'm working on right now. Biohack Your Dentistry, I started with that intention to create that awareness among all the providers that there are such amazing solutions that are possible to heal your patients. But before healing your patients, heal yourself first. Understand sleep, understand airway, understand infections in the gums, in the bones, understand an individual. And when we do so much for people in our practice, all the patients, we forget that who is doing this? Who is giving that help and care? You are doing that. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you really concerned about who you are, what you are, and how you're doing? So until you take that focus and shine the light on them, they will never understand what is it. They just want to learn one more skill, one more skill. Yes, you can have skills, you can sell more, but there is a burnout going
Yeah,
on.
so many
And
burnouts. Some of them are
right.
struggling. You know, suicide rates are really high in dentistry, and I want a solution for that.
And I think that what you're doing is really great. And I admire you for that. I mean, I really don't know if something like this would have happened to me, how I would have dealt with it. To lose somebody you love so passionately, and then you left with the whole burden on your shoulders. And the first thing you need to do is fix yourself and take care that you do not go down in the trenches anytime again and keep going. And that requires a really, really strong person to do that. So I really respect and admire that you're able to do that.
Well,
On
thank
top of
you.
that, you have chosen something which is so close to your heart, and you don't want anybody else to fall victim to that.
No, I don't want
So,
another dentist to,
yes.
you know, that spiral, the inflammation, the back pain, then a toxicity and neurologically how it changes them and creates this perfect storm for deep depression and unfortunately introduces also you talk about psychiatrists. You know, Scott was on a lot of antidepressants and actually one of them was called Cymbalta, which is for nerve damage, which
Wow.
occurs because of mercury poisoning. And if you look at Cymbalta, and the chances
Mm.
of suicide rate is extremely high. So bringing that awareness, yes, is it that's why I'm using my voice because I saw the immense amount of pain I went through, my children, our community, and and I know Scott, he knows he made a mistake. I know that. You know, I connect with him on so many levels. And he makes himself known and he knows he wants me to keep going and shine his light, shine his story because we can save one more life. And and we do, and I think as dentists, you guys all do really well to hide when it's really
Oh,
painful. It's very
yeah, it is.
isolating.
Yeah, no, we are great. We are great mask artists. We can make the most beautiful mask and compliment people and tell them how great achievers they are and how well that they're doing. But we just don't know how to go and even pat our own backs. We don't know how to make sure that we acknowledge the small steps we have done to be a better human being or a better provider. We don't know how to do that.
But why
And
do you
many of
think
them are
so? Why is
suffering.
it so hard? Why is it so hard? Because I can imagine even okay, in the group of dentists that we have met and who's going to be on the buy old dentistry, even though they're passionate with their work, I have no doubt there's some that are still silently suffering, even though they're very passionate what they're doing. And how can we encourage
Absolutely.
them to remove that mask and be comfortable, say, I'm not okay, and encourage them to maybe get one of your courses to learn to go within, learn how the detox pathway. The airway is huge. I see it in kids so much. And my own son, that's how I got into airway. When he was 3, he'd sleep with me sometimes, and I'd catch him, I'd record it, and he'd have sleep apnea. And I'd say, okay, how many days a week is he having that? And then even though he'd sleep 11 hours at the time, he was so tired all the time. He looked tired, the bags under the eyes. He really sensitive to allergies. And then almost behaviorally quick to temper. All these signs that a lot of people might say, oh, maybe ADHD, but we actually took a course called Healthy Start. And I think the
Uh-huh.
dentist, he started because his son was misdiagnosed with ADHD and made these appliances. So at 3 years
Right.
old, I started my son on these appliances. And even now he's got a spacer, a little face mask. We're still working on it, but I saw an incredible shift in him as well, his health and how important that is. So now I can't unsee it either as being such a importance to bring up. But circling back to the dentist and encouraging them to remove that veil. I mean, is there a time where it was so hard for you in your life, and so you
No,
can personalize it?
I was blessed that during that time, and still, my wife has been one of my the biggest anchor point, that she gave me that space to be able to do whatever I need to heal myself and get those answers, that now I'm able to help other people. So great support system at home now. And now my daughters are 12 and 14 now, teenagers. So that's another challenge
Oh,
by
yes, I know.
itself.
I have a 12-year-old going on to 18.
Yeah, and they're beautiful now. I saw them. Yeah, mine is when she was, I think, 12, yeah, 12, 13. I think I was like, I love you, but I have more emotions towards you now, which are not which are not healthy. So we need to sit and talk, and let's see where this energy is leading into. But yeah, no, it's beautiful. They're great. They're a blessing. But yeah, they can drain you. They can literally
Oh,
drain you,
absolutely.
and make you doubt the whole core of your existence as to everything you did in your life. You do it this way. Come on, I mean, there's so dismissiveness, and but
Oh,
that's
I know the struggle.
so that's that. But yeah, coming back to the,
Yes.
what I feel is necessary, and that's what my second calling is. My first calling was biological dentistry, but my second calling, which strongly comes to me, is that the dentists are failing to understand themselves. They are not able to understand their mind. And that's the reason I feel like I was put into a psychiatric hospital to provide care, not just to the patients over there, but have an understanding that as a provider, if I work in a setup where there is so much high importance given to mental care, self care, then what it is exactly. Because I don't know many other dentists who work in a psychiatric
No, I
facility
don't.
as a dedicated caretaker. And I said, if that happened to me, again, there has to be a reason. I don't believe in any randomness, even the way we met. I think that was a great purpose and care we are talking about it. So when I saw that, and my own personal journey, and that's where I'm going to go back to the first question, where you said, what do you bring back from the east to the west here, having that understanding and knowledge? That's where the knowing the importance of meditation or breath work, which again aligns with airway, but breath work and align, because breath is that great golden bridge that ties the physical body with your mental space. And when you are able to stay with the breath, you are not in your past, you're neither in your future. You are connected with the body. The most of the time when we're driving, we have things going on. So that one physical activity is never happening in isolation. The same way we're doing a lot of things, but we don't know how to be in that moment. We don't know how to slow down. We are trained to multitask. We want to do many things. We want to achieve a lot. So in a way, that ambition sometimes becomes greed, and that greed becomes self-harming, and we don't know, and we think that it's okay that we want it so much. Even if our kids want a lot in life, that's okay. So for me, it is just going a little back, learn few things, do them right, know yourself, fix yourself, help yourself. The more you help yourself, the more you will be able to heal people.
I agree. I
So the
couldn't
journey,
agree more. I couldn't agree more. Breath work has been so healing for me. And that's why I started the Calm Chair system. It was after I was giving talks about nervous system and breath work and training the providers and dental assistant and everybody, the whole team, to learn
right,
how to breathe, how to regulate on a regular basis, because it is such a life-saving tool for their nervous system on a daily basis to continue on the human sustainability of the career. And I've seen incredible shift when I do a breathwork session for the entire staff. I've done it where it's just in a lobby, and how
Mhm.
they become in heart coherence and remove that veil, like you talk about, and go within. It's
Yeah,
almost like the dentist doesn't have to carry that weight for everyone anymore. You know,
true. That's so true.
it's
So you
beautiful.
you no, and I think I've been doing that for the longest time. And if I have been practicing breath work for such a long time and I still struggle to do it correctly, and the insights, I mean, I cannot imagine somebody, you start them new, it's going to take a long time to do that. But it is important that they start the journey. So, as a biological dentist and as a biological dentist who's able to help himself, my calling, I feel, is to make that awareness a shift for the providers to know that they can do things for themselves if they really pay attention to themselves more than anything else. So, your mental health, your physical health, and your ability to understand that what you have is enough at that given point of time. You may get more or you may get less. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because we just don't know when the last day is going to be. So why run towards achieving that number, achieving that designation, or great, that is great. But do that in the first 8 hours when you are in your working mode. When you step out from that, go back to yourself. Your home is in your own body. Your home is not technically a physical space. So until and unless you're able to respect that home, that temple, which is so sacred, and that's what I see a lot of time, the opening of that temple or gate is your mouth in a way. So are you taking good care of your mouth and the connection between the different parts? If you can do that, then you have already started making that shift. The shift is happening. And that's what I feel the calling is, to tell the patients and the people who want to treat the biological patients that go back to yourself, heal yourself, feel better, and the healing energies in you will rise above your own imagination. And that's why I feel like my patients heal so beautifully well that I don't have to be worried about how things are going to be, because all the areas have been check marked, and every interaction I have with them, some way I feel there's a continuation that flows through me. Because I'm able to heal myself, I become a more pure conductor
Mm.
of that healing energy, and I can give it to them. They receive it, they feel better, they go and spread the message, and there are more people asking for help.
Isn't that beautiful? I noticed that in my own life. Like, more you do the work, and then you inspire somebody else to do that inner work, and then it's just that ripple effect, and it's so beautiful what the work that you're doing. And I hope a lot of dentists kind of join along with some of your courses, because I do feel there's such a shift when they start learning and they can treat patients, and that it just continues a ripple effect, and it's asking the right
Absolutely.
questions. So uh, for patients that are starting to ask questions and they want to find you right now, and they're willing to fly over to you, how can they find you?
I'm here in a small town in Stafford, Virginia, and I love that uh, because I was raised in the city, Mumbai. Then I went to school in New York, Columbia, and then when we moved here, I feel this is more home to me because I'm so much close to the nature. So I'm here in Stafford, Virginia, which is just 35 minutes down DC, and it's very accessible. I'm right off 95, Karande Biological Dentistry, where healing begins. We help patients get better, we help the healers. We heal the healers. So the goal is that you are either a dentist or a patient, you are welcome and experience the magic yourself.
Yeah, I love this. I just resonate with so much about your belief and, yeah, taking care of your temple. That's what I say. You got it. That's my book, The Gut God Connection, is all about how to take care of your temple and let that lead. And the more I work on myself, more I align, I attract things. Like, even for how I made it to cons, that's because I'm working on my temple. Like I really
Wow.
am. I am attracting that like energy and the passion, the similar passion. I found my family that has a very much the same passion. And actually, I'm also going to be in the bile dentistry. They had told
Oh,
me,
wow.
yeah, they had told me that they were done filming, but I said, no, I really feel that I need to be on here. And they said,
Mhm.
yes. And actually, we'll be recording in October here because,
Oh, awesome. I'm
yeah,
so
so
excited
I'm
for that.
really excited. So I'll see you again at the premiere.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward. But that's what I've seen. The most of the people I met there in Cairns, and many I haven't met. But I felt like they all are connected in a certain way. There's Dr. Chelsea Grove who was with me there, and now we did the event last week. We had her. She's triple board certified. She has sleep and she has neuro under her, which completely aligns with what we do here as biological dentists. The whole circuitry is so inflamed in my patients that they definitely need the help of sleep physicians. They need the help of dental sleep doctors. They need the help of biological dentists. They need myofunctional therapists. They need naturopathic doctors. And these were all the people who were with me speaking to the audience this past weekend in Biohack Your
Yeah, so
Dentistry.
you're building a
So,
bridge, right? Everyone brings in a collaboration for healing. And instead of isolating, oftentimes like, well, you just see the ENT and then you see the dentist but no, we should have a collaboration where we all speak. And I think that's so
yeah.
beautiful what you're creating.
Thank you. And the goal is not to exclude the medical community. That's what I feel. Like as biological dentists, we are taking some of the responsibilities for things which should have been done in a certain way, but were not because they kept it in a box and then they go to one medication to another medication to another medication because that's a pharmaceutical industry trying to, hey, we just designed something that is an edge better. That's an edge better. But seriously, are you going to the root cause and understanding why is that patient having such multifactorial symptoms that you don't need to send them to multiple doctors, but just make sure that they start taking some responsibility and they go and get cured for those toxins that are sitting in their mouths or in their bodies. Get rid of that. But that the medical professional doesn't have the time to do that. They are just 15 minutes. Every patient just comes in and done, and that's the biggest grievance when you give time to the patient is so happy. They are just happy in your presence. They start glowing. They start flowing with you, saying that we understand you and we appreciate that you understand us.
Yeah,
That is the biggest gift.
that you listen, you wait and listen and learn about
Listen,
them. I think that's so important.
so I want to bring all the medical professionals who would have that like-mindedness, that biological dentistry is a gift to the medical community. It is not something that needs to be outcasted or looked at in a certain way that people run away from it. You look at these people who are biological dentists, they are helping themselves, they're helping their patients and the community as a whole. So that's a call for all the medical providers. And where I have some of my friends and families who are medical doctors, they are joining into the pool and they are looking at things in the right way. So functional medicine doctors, naturopathic doctors, the doctors who can help you, chiropractors, who see more of these things because the medical field just does big things and says that, oh, this is not important. But that's the symptom of that patient. He's telling you he's hurting there. He's misaligned. His spine is not aligned. His hips are not aligned. He's getting treated for plantar fasciitis. He's complaining of jaw pain and he's complaining of knee pain. How can you just say, oh, this is not connected? Just go to one person and get everything done. And that one person can be the person like a biological dentist who is able to connect the dots. And then they can guide and get the other people. But my calling is let's do it together. We are powerful and strong when we can bring all our intelligence, the healing intelligence together. Let's not be narcissistic about our degrees and how many things we have done, but let's be humble because servicing or getting service from healthcare providers is a blessing.
Yeah.
So to receive a blessing, there has to be a calling and you have to be special to do that. And if you are special, don't make it about you, make it about the healing, make it about the energy you pour in, and that will create much more peace and happiness amongst people.
Absolutely. Being of service and collaborate, building a bridge between all the
Yes.
professions, which is what I truly feel needs. And so I'm just so honored. And this is kind of why I'm using my podcast to educate people of what so then they can feel more confident to ask questions when something doesn't feel right. Now I hear this all the time. It's like, oh, I've been wondering about this tooth. It's always like the gums are always bleeding. And I was like, yeah, ask questions and go see a biological dentist, and don't be afraid to question when it doesn't feel right. So I'm just really honored. And I know I'm going to put all the information there, how people can find you. I know we'll be in touch again. But is there, something else that we didn't touch on that you'd love to share that's on your heart?
No, I mean, we spoke a lot and we can speak for hours. I can take
Yes.
cases and I can talk to you about you. But my overall calling has been that the people I'm seeing in the biological side of dentistry are the people who need help. So, cancer patients, autoimmune conditions, kids, airway problems, sleep disorders, uh, inflammation. These are the things that are so rampant that they are getting masked. And that is the responsibility that I feel and all biological dentists have to uncover that and help those patients. The infection sitting in the bone, the cavitations or the CSR, as we call it, covered socket residuum, these infections are holding the and hijacking the body's healing ability, cleaning them, giving the body the opportunity to be the best version of itself, not hoping that one more pill is going to fix me, but
Yes.
one more right thought, right approach, and right understanding will heal people rather than going into the traditional medical model. Let's step out. Let's look at what can be done correctly with intention and the finest ability of the human mind. So I've been a mind practitioner more than anything, and my mindfulness dentistry is what I believe more than anything else. That's how I was able to connect the dots, and that's what my calling goes to all the providers, dental biodentists. That let's be mindful. Doesn't matter what religion you practice. It doesn't matter what beliefs you hold in your personal relationships or the way you do things, but it is important that as a human being that you're mindful of everything you do, and it takes time to develop that. So if there's one message, that is like, let's be mindful of everything we speak, we act, we think, and we do.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I know I feel I could dive into a lot of your cases, like even cancer and seeing it, the kind of the root. And oftentimes it's the last place they look is the mouth, from an infection or the autoimmune. And I'd love to hear more, maybe another time, like where you showcase like what you saw and what the
I
patients
would
were,
love to do that. I
what,
would love to do some of the cases. I
yeah.
We did with Biohack when we did the documentary with them. We also did kind of a spotlight with them at the clinic, and we did some patient testimonials. And till now, I think at least 80 to 85% of the patients who come in my chair for the first time when we discuss and we sit for 2 to 3 hours getting all the data, that's the time I dedicate when I meet them for the first time. So when I sit with them and we discuss them, there is a meltdown that happens. And that meltdown is a meltdown of hope, that there is
Mm.
hope to heal. The second meltdown happens when they heal, they start the journey. They are in disbelief when the healing is happening and they want to admit it. Some of them are really upfront, some of them hold back, and they have this fear that if they speak too soon, maybe they might go back to what they were.
Uh,
But as they keep healing, their stories unfold completely differently. So some of the testimonials we did, we found out there was a complete meltdown about what when they told the story. Their symptoms relieved. It could be back pain, it could be chronic migraines, it could be dealing with cancers, dealing with autoimmune conditions. Their symptoms management went so well balanced in their bodies that they felt that whatever they have in life, physically, mentally, emotional, they were able to deal better with
Wow.
it.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, that's a transformational, right? And just because it was something in the mouth and you were able to address, and now they felt so much healthier, vitality.
Yes.
And we're all going to have challenges in our lives, but it's being able to be strong enough to
Yeah.
face it face on and with the strength. So you're providing so much hope, and that's one thing I don't like is when people are not given any hope. They've gone to the best of the best. I hear this all the time. I went to the best doctor in New York, I went to the best doctor here, but they said there was no hope and here's a pill, right? And
Yeah.
I said I don't believe that. I don't believe that
No.
there's never any hope. and keep asking questions. So what an honor. I'm so excited to
Thank
see
you.
your portion on Buy Old Dentistry, the documentary. So stay tuned for that. I think this will be such a powerful, powerful documentary that I'm
Yes.
also trying to advocate where the mouth should be the number one place. So watch out, dentists, biologists, dentists, you're going to be really busy. That's my
That's
goal.
it's
A lot of
no,
success, but more than anything, it's because I do believe a lot of disease is rooted in the mouth. Let's look at there as well. We've got to take care of the dentist, human sustainability. That's why I will continue to speak my truth, to speak my story, and provide a breath work for the provider and the patients. And so, yeah, we'll meet again. I'm so excited.
yes, we will meet again. And thank you again for the opportunity. You are an amazing human being. I've always enjoyed my conversations with you. And I think we'll have many more as time goes on. And we'll keep sharing our healing
Absolutely.
experiences
I
and make
want to
sure
come
we
see your
create.
office. I want to see you get right in there one
I
day.
would be more than honored. I would be honored. I'm just 30 minutes from DC, so there's
Okay. I
we're
remember going
right
to
here.
DC for a big dental conference many, many years ago, maybe a decade ago.
Really?
But
Okay.
who knows? I'll be out there
Yeah,
for a
sure.
speaking engagement and I'll come in knocking.
Sure, it will be a pleasure and an honor to host you here. So, yeah, it's a blessing here to be here, and I'm blessed for this moment itself where I can share. And you are giving a great platform for people to talk about what they do. The magic needs to be seen and heard. And the biological dentists are themselves very magical human beings. You will see that each of them has an aura around them. They have the belief, they have the healing powers, and if they're truly biological in the sense they need to be, they're unstoppable.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that was all you guys. I felt it. Well, thank you so
Mm,
much. So, for anyone
thank
listening
you.
today, if this resonated, please share to everyone, to your loved ones. The more we educate people about the mouth, about the airway, about just root cause, about biological dentistry, the better it's going to
Mhm.
be a ripple effect of beautiful
Right.
auras, beautiful energy around us, and vitality. So, thank you for listening.